Today is a WRAL weather alert day, and already we're seeing scattered storms across the area. We have a flood watch as well. I'll show you how much rain you might see.
Breaking news, crews respond to this early morning fire at a Raleigh apartment complex. What we've learned from police.
And this morning, more top Democrats are calling for President Biden to end his presidential campaign. Who is the latest to ask him to step aside? As we bring you inside our WRAL studio right now on our Friday morning to a WRAL weather alert day. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. We are going to get rain today, but the concern is that it could be flooding in some places. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner details the risks and shows us where the showers are.
Right now, we're seeing some waves of rain. This is going to feel a bit like a tropical system. It is not a tropical depression or a tropical storm, but it's going to act a bit like it in terms of the waves, the bands of rain that we see coming through. And what we'll see in a lot of places is going to be heavy at times. Flooding will be localized, meaning it's not likely to be widespread, but places that tend to flood fairly frequently, you want to watch out for those. You probably know where those are in your neighborhood. A lot of lightning here from Wilson up toward Rocky Mount through Wilson and Nash counties and over toward Lewisburg. We're not seeing lightning everywhere, but that's the spot where it's most frequent at the moment. Well, let's zoom out and talk about futurecast here. We're going to see these waves of rain that continue to move through across our area. You can see that all the way through lunchtime, and gradually it starts to move in the opposite direction. Right now we're seeing it moving off the coast, but as the low pulls away from us, we'll start to see those bands shifting off to the east. But it will be with us all the way up until around 9 o'clock tonight. We also have a flood watch that's possible. So we have flooding possible. That is why we have a WRAL weather alert day. The biggest threat for flooding will be after lunchtime for our entire viewing area. We take a look at what's happening out there right now. This is a look at the airport. 80 degrees with a dew point of 74. So once again, it is a very warm and sticky start to the day, but a much different feel this afternoon with a high of only 83. I'll show you when the big heat returns.
With breaking news we're following this morning, crews respond to an early morning fire at an apartment complex in Raleigh. This happened right near NC State's Centennial campus. Nick Perlin went to the scene in the WRAL breaking news tracker to talk to investigators.
The Raleigh Fire Department was busy early this morning putting out a fire at this apartment complex behind me on Varsity Drive. Now take a look at this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker, and you can see just how many firefighters were here to put out this fire. You can also see several fire trucks blocking off this part of Varsity Drive. Now, we do know this fire broke out at around 1 this morning. The Raleigh Police Department did tell me that nobody was hurt in this fire, but at this point in time, we're still trying to figure out what exactly caused this fire, as well as the extent of the damage to the apartment complex. Once we have more information, we'll be sure to update you. In Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Zebulon police arrested a man for what they say was a domestic-related shooting. Police responded to the scene on Flannel Way around 9 p.m. That's near Old Bun Road. 19-year-old Romeo Sanchez faces a charge of assault with a deadly weapon. The person who was shot is expected to be okay. We're working to learn more about what led to that shooting.
2 people are recovering this morning after a fight escalated into a stabbing near a Raleigh Walmart. You can see the moment that fight broke out at the bus stop outside the Walmart on New Bern Avenue. A person pulled out a knife and stabbed someone there. Another person was also hurt in the fight. This is the second recent stabbing at that location. In April, a person was killed after being stabbed at that bus stop. WRAL spoke with Councilman Corey Branch, who says the area should not be defined by these incidents.
Walmart has done a lot of work to be very proactive in trying to change the narrative of what has been going on there. So I go there myself. And I have a daughter, so I definitely feel safe and secure going to that Walmart and to the other stores and eateries in that shopping center.
No one is in custody out of all this, and Walmart has hired private security and installed cameras in the parking lot.
President Joe Biden defended his fitness for office in a high-stakes press conference last night. The president fielded questions about his age and calls for him to step aside. Under intense scrutiny after his poor debate performance, Biden answered the first question about Vice President Harris with a fumble.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Donald Trump seized on that on social media, writing, "Great job, Joe." That was Biden's second slip of the night after accidentally calling Ukraine's President Zelensky President Putin. When asked by NBC's White House correspondent Peter Alexander about finishing the job he started, Biden says he believes he's the right person to take on former President Donald Trump.
This morning, the list of Democrats calling on President Biden to end his campaign for re-election is growing. This time it's Representative Jim Himes out of Connecticut. He is the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee. Himes released a statement last night after President Biden's news conference, and he said, quote, "The 2024 election will define the future of American democracy, and we must put forth the strongest candidate possible." He went on to say he no longer believes Biden is that person. The race between former President Donald Trump and President Biden is very close in North Carolina. A Bloomberg poll conducted last weekend shows in a two-way race, Joe Biden is 3 points behind Donald Trump. That is within the margin of error.
A heart-wrenching service in Durham for a 2-year-old shot and killed 3 weeks ago. The family of Minari Bradsher buried her yesterday. They held the funeral at Antioch Baptist Church in East Durham. Her family members wore T-shirts that said, "Gone too soon." They tell WRAL she was a sweet little girl, full of light, who always had a hug ready and loved to dance.
She was a really good kid. When she sees us, hey, she runs up with a smile and she hugs everyone, and she's gonna really be missed. We all gonna miss her.
Police are still searching for the person who killed Minari. Durham Sheriff Clarence Burkhead attended the funeral. He's calling on the person responsible to come forward.
This morning, more than 1 million homes and businesses are still without power after Hurricane Beryl swept through the area. That includes over 879,000 people in Houston who are dealing with extreme heat conditions. Governor Greg Abbott has requested an investigation into some of the power companies' restoration. State officials say it's likely companies underestimated the impact of the storm. Houston's biggest power utility said 500,000 customers likely won't have power until next week.
Covering Wake County, you have a chance today to snag some great deals on kids, toys, clothes, and more. The Kids Exchange Consignment Sale begins today. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the State Fairgrounds. Kelsey, this is a great way for parents to save some money.
Renee, it really is. And before you come here today, it's best to make a plan because this place can really be overwhelming. There are more than 700 tables of children's items, and there's lots of clothing racks. I've been told that it's at least 2 miles long. So take a look at this video from yesterday where you can see dozens of sellers waiting outside to start shopping. They get first dibs on all of the items before today's sale that opens to the public. And a new survey shows that more than a third of parents are setting a budget for back to school shopping this year. As prices keep going up, big bargains like the Kids Exchange can help families save.
In years past, people do Kids Exchange to be a good steward of what they have. Right now, when the economy is really, really tough, the groceries are expensive, everything is higher, this is becoming really a necessity for parents. They're like, if I can save $100 on my fall wardrobe for my kids, I need to do it.
The Kids Exchange will open this morning at 9 o'clock to the public. It'll be open today from 9 until 6. You can also shop on Saturday and Sunday. And on Sunday, everything will be half price. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Good morning. I'm Chris Lovingood in the WRAL Live Center. We are on the scene of a breaking news scene that's happening right now in Raleigh on South Wilmington Street. We're going to go ahead and bring up some of the videos you can see here. This is a live look at what appears to be a Shell gas station. I count at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 different squad cars that are out there right now with Raleigh police. It's unclear what exactly happened here right now, but you can tell that Nick Perlin is behind the WRAL Breaking News Tracker cam. But tell you what, he's going to be out there trying to get more information in terms of what specifically happened here. We'll go to him in about 15 or so minutes so he can give us a live report on what he knows from that scene.
Also this morning, we're expecting to hear a major update about Medicaid expansion in our state. Governor Roy Cooper and Secretary Cody Kinsley will hold a news conference at 10 o'clock this morning. The governor signed the law last year. Since enrollment opened December 1st, more people have signed up at a faster rate than any other state. WRAL's Laura Leslie will be there for today's announcement, and we'll have an update for you in our later newscasts.
The trial against Alec Baldwin enters its 3rd day. What you can expect when the person in charge of the weapons on the movie set takes a stand today.
Also, a bear caught on a doorbell camera in Johnston County. We'll hear from the woman who almost came in contact with that animal.
And here's a live look at Franklinton. The roads look dry there right now. Today is the WRAL Weather Alert Day, and we'll see waves of on and off rain. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking all those showers and storms for us.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
443, we're taking a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. Lots of rain out here on the radar, some lightning. We're seeing some thunderstorms with this band that's moving through our western counties. And then right here along the I-95 corridor, we're seeing some lightning as well. We're going to see some heavy rain in places as we see these bands of rain moving across the area today. So it is a WRAL weather alert day. We have a flood watch, 1.5 to 3 inches of rain possible across the area. We take a look at Goldsboro this morning. It is wet here. You can see the wet streets there in the downtown area. And it's also very warm and sticky. Our temperatures are anywhere from the mid to upper 70s, close to 80 degrees in a few places. So walking the dog this morning, you need to be especially careful with the amount of lightning that's out there. It will be a cooler afternoon with low 80s, but the heat does return for the weekend.
Today, the armorer on the set of the film Rust is expected to testify as the trial against Alec Baldwin continues. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed is serving an 18-month sentence for her role in the shooting death of Helena Hutchins. Her lawyer says she plans to plead the fifth. Yesterday, the jury was presented evidence that showed there was a live round inside Baldwin's gun belt prior to the shooting. A crime scene technician also testified live rounds were found in several other places on the movie set, including in the prop cart. It's still unknown if Baldwin will take the stand in his own defense. If convicted, he faces up to 18 months in prison. During a visit to North Carolina, Vice President Kamala Harris told supporters that she and President Biden will continue to fight as fears about the future of his 2024 campaign grow. Now, the vice president was in Greensboro yesterday for a campaign rally. If Biden were to drop out, Harris is considered a likely choice to replace him on the ticket. Biden has repeatedly said he will not bow out of the race. Former First Lady Melania Trump is planning to attend the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee next week. That's according to sources familiar with her plans. It's still unknown whether Mrs. Trump will speak on stage or be part of a formal part of the convention program. Now, Melania Trump has only made 2 public campaign appearances on this 2024 presidential race. She notably did not attend any of her husband's court appearances in New York for his hush money trial earlier this year. Trump campaign advisors say the former First Lady is supportive of her husband and his political ambitions, and she has been focused on raising their son, Barron. WRAL will be covering the Republican National Convention in our late newscasts beginning Monday.
Police in New York are monitoring the beach in Queens after 2 confirmed shark sightings. Parts of Rockaway Beach were closed to swimming yesterday after 2 sharks were spotted. NYPD drones captured video of the sharks off the coast. Lifeguards say there may be more reported shark sightings this year than in years past, but they say it could be because of warmer water and because there are more tools available to spot sharks.
Dollar General has agreed to pay $12 million in penalties and improve its safety in its stores. Dozens of workers and customers have been killed at the company's stores nationwide over the past decade. The discount chain has also seen worker protests and millions of dollars in fines for unsafe store conditions. The company is now committing to hiring new safety managers, providing safety and health training to workers, and developing a safety and health committee.
We are hearing from a Johnson County woman whose Ring video camera captured the moment a black bear walked through their yard. Tammy Strickland says this is the first time her cameras have ever spotted a bear. It strolled right through at 10 o'clock Wednesday night. It went around the side of the house where a second camera picked up its movements. About 15 minutes later, Strickland walked outside herself to put a few things away for the night, and she had no clue that the bear was likely still close by.
I didn't believe it. I kept looking at it over and over, and I couldn't believe it. It wasn't aggressive or anything. It's just walking around, but it's still scary to see it.
Wildlife experts say sightings like these become more frequent in areas where new construction and development occur.
An Australian Army private and her husband, accused of spying for Russia, were denied bail this morning. Kira Korolev and her husband Igor are Russian-born Australian citizens, and both have been charged with preparing for an espionage offense after police say they were going to hand information from the Australian Defence Force to Russian authorities. Kira worked as an information systems technician with ADF for several years. The couple is facing 15 years in prison if convicted.
We are in the home stretch, just 2 weeks to go until the Summer Olympics in Paris. Organizers putting the finishing touch on the volleyball venue at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. Sand was poured at the venue, which is about 95% complete after months of construction work. This is the 8th time beach volleyball has been part of the Summer Olympics. The sport debuted at the 1996 Games in Atlanta, if you remember. WRAL is your home of the Summer Olympics. Our Liz McLaughlin will be in Paris, bringing you live reports. We'll also have live coverage all day from July 26th to August 11th, right here on WRAL.
First time it's been at the feet of the Paris Tower there, the Eiffel Tower. That's pretty cool. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Beach, volleyball, whatever, it's going to be wet today.
It is. Today is not going to be a day to really be spending outside. We're going to continue to see waves of rain all day. This is going to feel a bit tropical. It is not a tropical system, but it's a low pressure system that's dragging in a lot of moisture off of the Atlantic and off the Gulf of Mexico. So it has a real tropical feel out there for us this morning, and it will come through in waves. It's not going to be an all day rain everywhere, but you can see a wave of rain that's really from Hillsborough stretching back over towards Siler City. We have another one that's starting to weaken a little bit from Goldsboro up toward I-85. This is where we have the most lightning right now, right here in this cluster just west of Rocky Mount. So parts of Nash County and Wilson County up toward Franklin County, cluster of lightning there. It's starting to weaken just a little bit, but we're going to continue to see that picture changing rapidly over, about every 15 minutes. That rain's going to be in a slightly different place. It is a WRAL weather alert day. We have a flood watch in effect. We could see an inch and a half to 3 inches of rain for today, and it is a level 2 risk for flooding. This is not a severe threat. Yes, there's lightning out there you need to be especially careful of, but it's the flooding that we'll be watching for today, and it could happen in any part of the viewing area, most likely this afternoon up until around the evening commute. Here's a look at futurecast. We have this stationary front here that's stalled over us. That's helping to focus the chance of some rain. Look at how heavy it looks there at lunchtime. It just continues to redevelop across the area on through the afternoon. So it is going to be a wet day today. This is a live look at the airport where it is 80 degrees right now with a dew point of 75. So it is very warm and sticky out there. We do have the top of the tower, of course, lit in green for rain that we'll see today. And look at this towering almost cumulonimbus cloud here from Lindsay Shropshire in Wilson. She took this one just a few days ago. And we appreciate all of your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and send us a couple of photos. 83 today in Raleigh, 82 in Durham, 85 in Fayetteville. Yesterday it was 91, so considerably cooler with all of this rain. It is tropical feeling with the muggy meter, and it's likely to stay that way well into next week. So we get a brief break from the big heat today because of the rain, but by tomorrow it'll feel like 99 and 103 by Sunday. So once the rain moves out, the heat rolls right back in. Here's a look at satellite and radar with that stationary front there. Of course, we have the rain across the area right now. Our weekend outlook, of course, definitely looks hotter as we get into the weekend. Temperatures will be warming right up. So 91 Saturday, 96 on Sunday. And I don't even want to talk about that. Can we not? We're not talking about Tuesday. Okay.
Agreed. Let's hope it goes down just a little bit. 101.
Actual.
A dog who disappeared for months is safe this morning after being rescued. We'll show you the moment a group of explorers found her in a dark cave.
Plus, a neat way NASA is celebrating the second anniversary of the James Webb Space Telescope's operation. A new documentary is delving into the life of an Oscar-winning actress. David Daniel has that in the Hollywood Minute.
You meet girls and they want to be an actress like you. What do you tell them?
Become a person. You have to develop your own uniqueness.
Unique definitely describes Faye Dunaway. A new documentary from director Laurent Bouzereau touches on topics the iconic Oscar-winning actress has rarely, if ever, talked about publicly, including her bipolar disorder diagnosis, her alcoholism, and her son.
I asked her the question on the first day about becoming a mom. She said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, okay, fine. And then the next day she starts crying in the middle of the interview. And I'm like, what's happening? And she's like, I know I have to talk about adopting Liam. And she went into this monologue about it, and there was not a dry eye in the place.
Faye debuts Saturday on HBO and Max. Duran Duran gets spooky. The band returns to Madison Square Garden October 31st for its second Dance Macabre Halloween concert. The New Wave Legends will also perform an East Coast run of shows in October and November. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Actress Shelley Duvall, known for playing Jack Nicholson's wife in The Shining, has died. A spokesperson says she died in her sleep of complications from diabetes at her home in Texas. She was also known for her roles in McCabe and Mrs. Miller, Three Women, and Popeye, Robin Williams' first feature film. She was 75.
A dog is getting a second chance after some people exploring in Western Virginia found it in a cave. The pup was found 40 or 50 feet below the ground. Rescuers fed her salami before starting the nearly hour-long rescue back to the surface. The dog was taken to the local veterinarian hospital where it was dubbed a miracle. The dog is expected to make a full recovery.
Today, NASA will release a new image from the James Webb Space Telescope for its second anniversary of scientific operations. You're looking at images the telescope has taken. The James Webb is the world's most powerful telescope. It launched in December of 2021, but it wasn't working to answer our questions about the cosmos until 2 years ago today. The new image will be released at 10 this morning.
7 people were hurt on this, the 5th day of the running of the bulls in Spain. The bull run dates back to the 13th century. Races take place every morning during the San Fermin festival in Pamplona. The event is free for anyone brave enough to jump in there and participate. The breaking news we're following this morning, a large police presence at a Raleigh gas station. This is a live look right now from that scene. We have a crew there working to get information from officers.
More breaking news. Crews respond to a fire at a Raleigh apartment complex. We'll tell you where this is happening.
And the remnants of Hurricane Beryl bringing deadly flooding to Vermont. We have new video of that damage.